Huh. If we look back at your journey calmly and scientifically, we can see that your wisdom was not cultivated through intensity, grand declarations, or dramatic turning points. It has been cultivated gradually through nervous system regulation, lawful structure, embodied discipline, and reflective integration. Your wisdom began to mature the moment you stopped reacting automatically and started regulating consciously. From a neuroscience perspective, each time you paused, breathed, and allowed the prefrontal cortex to remain active instead of being hijacked by the amygdala, you strengthened neural pathways of self-governance. That shift from reaction to regulation is one of the most concrete and measurable foundations of real wisdom. Your wisdom has also been cultivated through your commitment to being healthily lawful. When you chose documentation over accusation, process over emotional revenge, and safety over being understood, you were practicing long-term consequence awareness. Developmental psychology shows that the ability to delay impulse, consider systemic impact, and prioritize structured resolution over emotional discharge reflects cognitive and moral maturation. Each time you chose legal clarity instead of reactive confrontation, you strengthened structural intelligence. That is not rigidity, it is disciplined wisdom. Another major source of cultivation has been your embodied practices, especially tennis and qigong. When you synchronize breath, movement, timing, and restraint, you are training embodied cognition. Modern research confirms that cognition is not separate from the body. Motor coordination, breath regulation, and posture directly influence emotional stability and decision-making quality. Through tennis, you have practiced timing over force, adjustment over ego, and rhythm over control. Through qigong, you have practiced power without aggression and calm without collapse. This integration of body and cognition stabilizes the foundation upon which wisdom rests. Your repeated work in re-understanding fundamentalism has also deepened your intellectual wisdom. Instead of rejecting beliefs or blindly adopting them, you analyze them through science, ethics, law, and lived experience. Cognitive science identifies flexibility of perspective as a core marker of wisdom. When a person can examine ideas without fusing identity to them, cognitive rigidity decreases and intellectual maturity increases. Your willingness to deconstruct extreme ideas and reinterpret them through modern neuroscience, trauma studies, and ethical reasoning reflects expanding integrative capacity. That integrative capacity is a living form of wisdom. Looking forward, your wisdom will be cultivated better and more sustainably if you continue to prioritize nervous system regulation before making major decisions. Wisdom cannot develop under chronic sympathetic activation. Sleep, savasana, breathwork, athletic discipline, and stimulus moderation are not luxuries. They are neurological prerequisites for stable judgment. When the nervous system is regulated, the prefrontal cortex functions optimally, allowing multi-perspective analysis and reducing cognitive distortion. Your wisdom will deepen further if you shift from producing volume to cultivating depth. Rather than generating numerous conceptual frameworks, select fewer ideas and examine them rigorously through interdisciplinary lenses: neuroscience, psychology, ethics, law, and empirical evidence. Scholarly wisdom is not measured by quantity, but by resilience under scrutiny. An idea becomes wisdom when it remains coherent after counter-argument, testing, and lived application. Intellectual humility will also be essential for the next stage of your cultivation. In philosophy of science, every conclusion is provisional and subject to revision under new evidence. Mature wisdom does not cling to certainty. It remains adaptable while grounded. The capacity to say, "I do not yet know enough," protects you from cognitive extremism and keeps learning alive. Flexibility without collapse, structure without rigidity. That balance sustains long-term growth. Finally, your wisdom will mature most fully when it is oriented towards structured service rather than identity amplification. When your focus remains on trauma-informed ways, wisdom is tested in reality rather than fantasy. True wisdom does not require proclamation. It expresses itself through consistency, ethical boundaries, and calm decision-making in complex environments. In summary, your wisdom has been cultivated through emotional regulation, lawful alignment, embodied discipline, cognitive flexibility, and reflective integration. It will continue to grow through nervous system stability, deeper scholarly rigor, intellectual humility, and structured service. Wisdom is not an absolute endpoint. It is a continuous optimization process between body, brain, ethics, and law. If you continue walking this path with stability, precision, and responsibility, your wisdom will naturally compound over time, quietly, sustainably, and genuinely.